Welcome to Getting to Know You. If you pay careful attention to the titles, you'll see that we are celebrating the pool in this segment. But we are not in the pool, not in the pool, but not in the pool room, because it's very hard to have a conversation in there. That's the only thing that we would say anything bad about this wonderful new pool. And I'm so glad to be here talking with Kirk. And Kirk has a last name we don't hear often said, Cannizzo. And he is wearing the shirt at our request that labels him as the lifeguard, and of course a lot more. And I think, Kirk, a lot of people know you from Stand Tall, Don't Fall, but I think you're the best person to tell us about this wonderful new pool and what you're doing there.
All right.
So you want to say something about waiting for such a long time, and now we have it. What are some of the best features of this new pool that you're taking care of?
Well, first of all, just happy the pool is reopened and it's been through renovations. The pool is always kept clean, 86 degrees. Bromine's always going to be in the ideal range, pH, so I make sure I take care of the pool.
That's pretty warm.
Every day. Yeah, it's really warm in there. And 84 degrees the air temperature. And through the renovations, the tubing that you may see was not there anymore because when there would be humid outside, there'd be condensation. So that was a big project. So right now the air is usually kind of dry, but we want that because the condensation has now been eliminated. So after all the renovations and also making sure that we keep the hands clean, we have the hand wipers, hand sanitation, and make sure we do the COVID-19 protocols. So it's very safe, and people have the option of doing the laps, coming to the pool classes, and I'm really glad to be part of that.
Well, we'll ask you a little bit more about that, but some people don't even know how they should prepare to come to the pool. Before you get in it, what do you say people should do?
I would say find out the schedule. The schedules are located right by the pool office or the front desk. And when you find out more information, or call extension 3606, which is Brooke, or 3632, which is me. The pool is operated from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Lunch break is 12 to 1. And during that time, you have options of doing open swim or lap swim from 8 to 8:30. And then in the midst of all that, what you want to do is take a shower. It's a quick rinse before you enter. Obviously, don't forget your mask during the hallways. And we have towels, we have the restrooms, everything's kept clean, and then I'll be watching you. But any particular concerns, the air, anything that's touched, I clean every day. And when you leave, you just have a bucket of towels, so it's basically an environment that's very social, very relaxing. Or you can also do your laps as well.
So say a little bit about the classes that you run, because this is a choose what you want to do kind of thing. But the classes are scheduled, and so what classes are you running, or a class or more than one?
There's more than one. Classes are every day, Monday through Friday, 10 in the morning till 10:45. And I would say Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a bit more of a challenging class. Tuesdays and Thursdays are a slower pace, but every class is a little different. So warm-ups is from like 10 to 10:15. Then we really get into it for the next 15 minutes. Then we go to the deep end, use the noodles, and then the last 5-10 minutes of the class is stretching. So you could come in any day of the week. There are, however, because of the pandemic restrictions as far as people. The number of people would be no more than 6, and for the class, but for open swim and laps, no more than 4. Now, up to this point, I never had to turn anyone away, which I'm very happy about.
After this,
you'll
all be flocking.
Exactly. I would love that. But something I keep an eye on, and usually if someone were to be the 7th person or the 5th person, someone's about to leave soon, but that's never been an issue. That's why I encourage people to come any day, or even just give me a call at the extension 3632, and again, that hasn't been an issue, and hope to stay that way as long as the pandemic is not over soon enough.
Good. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into this. I don't imagine when you were like 8 years old and somebody asked you what you want to do for the rest of your life that you said, be a trainer and lifeguard. How did you find this as a profession? You're good at it.
Long story. I'll explain as brief as I can. I actually wanted to be a physical therapist. There were times I wanted to be a phys ed teacher, but more opportunities came in healthcare. I started lifeguarding in May of 2001 as a part-time job. And throughout all the years, I've been recertifying every year, 2 years, the CPR class, and it changes. I think for the most of those years, it was like 3 years certification lifeguarding, 1 year
Really?
CPR. Now it's 2 years, which my class is going to be up, I think, in March, which I'm not planning to wait till the last minute, so probably pick February.
Yeah.
But over the years, I went through phases, and more opportunities came in healthcare, and here I am.
Right.
And I'm really glad it worked out that way. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else except Stonebridge.
We're glad to hear you. We're
Yes,
glad to have
yes,
you here.
yes.
You also do this stand tall, don't fall.
Yes.
And I know you filled in a couple of times.
Yes.
Now, how did you learn to lead the exercise
I
classes and so on?
First learned that at Meadow Lakes, actually, under Stacy's supervision. That was, I think, back in 2009. And I started off with notes on the floor to guide me how to teach this class that I was going to substitute for her. And then ever since then, I came up with my new ways that would live well approved,
Right.
my own style. So I've been teaching this class for about 12 years.
Really?
And in those years, I learned how to assess people, their body language, where I should tone it down a little bit. And then I just kind of evolved to now teaching to a point where I don't even need notes. I
Yeah.
kind of stopped after just a few classes, but
Yeah.
it's one of the classes that I enjoy teaching the most. And it's every Wednesday now at 1:15. We're having the balance class outside, pool patio,
Yeah.
but I felt it was just getting too cold.
Yeah.
And usually when I exercise in a temperature of 68 to 72 degrees,
Right.
and now it's getting colder,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be appropriate.
It's just not as much fun
Yeah,
when
it's
it's
just,
gray.
yeah,
and,
it's
you know,
cold,
so-
and the thing is, it's for safety too.
Right.
So currently, it's going to be in the aerobics room outside the fitness center, and it's going to be from
And
1:15
has
to
that
2.
room been changed?
Yeah.
What happened there?
The aerobics room definitely changed. It's now no longer carpet, it's basically a wooden platform. And it has a little bit more friction, it looks a little cleaner, looks just newer. And I'm about to teach my first balance class in the new renovated aerobics room in about half an hour.
Okay.
So I'll get to know more about it, but it was definitely part of the renovation.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And so we should emphasize that you're part of the Live Well team, and
Yeah.
which I think we at Stonebridge really appreciate, because we come here with an expectation of
Yeah.
living well.
Yes, exactly.
and you're a part of making that
Thank you.
happen. So
Thank you.
we're really happy
Thank you.
with
I
that.
also try to make sure I live the part by getting a good night's sleep, make sure I eat healthy, exercise myself, and to come to Stonebridge with a very sincere, professional, positive attitude. And that, the vibes you give off, people can sense that.
I think so. Yeah.
And I like to have everything positive in my classes, my interactions, when I'm in the pool. I know it's perfect, but
Yeah.
it's really important to not only teach live well, but to live well, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have a smile.
Yes,
You do.
yes.
It
Yes.
really does help.
Yes.
Well, we're so glad that we got to know you, which is
Thank you.
one of the purposes of this program,
Yes.
but also all the good information that
Yeah.
that you've given us, and I hope that will be an introduction to the pool and maybe
Yes.
one of your classes for people. We have a lot of new people, so
Yes,
I'm glad
I
to
noticed that.
introduce you to people who have joined us over the summer and now into the fall.
Yes,
And will
definitely.
be encouraged to
Yes.
come, so.
Yes, I encourage you to come on down. Any questions, just give me a call.
Right, yeah. I'm glad I've gotten to know you, Kirk, and I'm
Thank you.
glad you have a last name.
Yes, people know me as Kirk, but
Right.
how do you have a last name?
Not Kirk, yeah.
Or Captain Kirk, if you didn't
Well,
call me.
we're going to be concluding this program with an interview with one of the faithful pool swimmers, and
What are you talking
who
about?
had really been looking forward to, was patient about
Yes.
having the pool under construction for so long, and now really enjoys swimming. So I know you had something to do with how
Yes.
much he enjoys
Thank
the
you.
pool. So
Thank you.
Thank you for that too.
All right.
Good to talk to you,
You
Kirk.
too, Ingrid.
Now you're going to persuade me that I really, in the
come on
middle
down.
of winter, should
Yes,
get into
yes,
the
come on
pool.
down.
Okay, I will,
All right,
thanks.
thank you.
All right. Now we have had this wonderful conversation with Kirk, who makes it all happen. I hope you enjoy the conversation with Seiichi Makino, with which will follow this conversation. We're actually today celebrating something, and that is the opening of the pool. And one of the things we thought was really important in doing that is to talk to somebody who really appreciates the pool and uses it a lot. So I asked around and I found out that Professor Makino, who is my guest today, is probably the person who swims most frequently and longest in the pool. Is that right, Professor? You think so?
40 years or something. You too.
You've been swimming, not me, but you, and now in the new pool.
Yeah.
Tell me what your schedule is in the new pool. What do you do?
Well, I every day wake up 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so plenty of time before 8 o'clock to start.
You can read the
So
newspaper.
I go there at 8 o'clock sharp.
Uh-huh.
And swimming about 45 or 50 minutes non-stop.
Right.
But very slowly. That's why it takes time.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And before this pool got kind of restored,
Yeah.
I kept walking surrounding area.
Oh, I see you made up for it.
And
Yeah.
I made a close contact with the nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
even I sometimes talked with the nature.
Well, that's good.
You know.
I understand that's what
And
keeps
they
the flowers
welcomed
growing.
me, and this one of the best part of this place is surrounded by nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
so on a nice day, if it's a bad day, I kept walking on second floor
Oh, I see. Okay.
and 1 hour,
Uh-huh.
and I got to know people, exchange short
Right. Yeah.
conversation.
They expected
Each
you, I bet.
time I, bump into them.
Yeah.
And nobody has done that before.
No. Well, I know that from at least what I've heard, that you're the most faithful attender of the pool, and I bet you missed it when it wasn't there, since you just said you had to walk in instead.
Right.
But since you're a professor at Princeton. Did you swim at Princeton in the
Yeah,
pool?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 years I was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Even after retirement,
Mm-hmm.
Dean gave me a room
Mm-hmm.
closest to the swimming pool.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I made a condition, but my office
Right.
has to be very close.
Right.
So yeah, she did. I forgot her name, but yeah, a long time.
Well, that's-
7, 8
that's
years
really-
back.
Tell us a little bit about what you are a professor of. What do you do at the
Oh,
university?
I see. I was a professor of Japanese language and linguistic theory.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I think, Japanese, I analyze
Uh-huh.
in kind of universal terms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Linguists are interested in universal terms rather than just a specificity
Yeah.
of Japanese or Chinese or
yeah.
whatever language
Yeah.
you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
But I like studying language, so I studied French and German first. Well, of course, English first,
Yeah.
and then those three languages are very helpful for me to be exposed to all kinds of classical theory of linguistics.
And that continues.
Yeah, and those three at the University of Tokyo,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be Princeton in Japan,
Okay, we'll believe that.
yeah. And and also classical Greek too,
Okay.
and modern Greek to some extent. I've never been to Greece yet,
Oh,
so
Yeah.
Even after this
yeah.
misery is gone,
Yeah.
then I
Good.
make a trip
Good.
there. So that's what. Well, of
Well,
course.
and that's why you have to
Yeah,
keep
so
swimming,
I
so you'll
keep
be in good shape to
thinking-
go to Greece.
Yeah, right.
But you mentioned another thing that I think people here at Stonebridge would like to know, and that is that you are a friend of the Nobel Prize winner, one of the Nobel Prize
Oh.
winners from Princeton,
She
who
was
is also
surprised when I
of
told him about-
Japanese background, right? But not
Yeah.
in your field, in another field.
Yeah.
Tell us a little
You
bit
know
about
what?
him,
I didn't have a chance to talk with him after receiving
of the Nobel Prize.
Prize
Mhm.
because I thought there's so many people
Mm-hmm.
want to,
Yeah,
so
right.
I'll wait another couple of months and then all of a sudden call him or something.
Right. But you told me that 5 years ago, as we were sort of talking about this, that you sort of joked with him about getting a Nobel Prize,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
You already identified him.
yeah, right, that's right. So, and he's great. He's 90 years old,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but he can walk without cane or anything.
But you told me he also was a swimmer, so it must be magic.
Yeah, I think swimming is good,
Right.
I'm just 86.
Oh,
From
wow.
his perspective, I'm just a child.
Right, right.
And yeah, I like, yeah, so, and also he said in his talk after receiving
Yeah.
it,
Mhm.
You address to younger people,
Mhm.
you have to come up with some interesting ideas,
Mhm.
no matter how it looks awkward
Mhm.
or even funny
Yeah.
for specialists,
Yeah.
but you should stick to it.
Mhm.
That's what he said
Well,
himself.
I guess that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's really great to talk with you, and you are an inspiration, and it's a good ad for the pool. So if you want to be old age and active, swim,
Yeah,
right?
right.
and we have the possibility of doing it in a wonderful new pool. Well, thank you so much for talking with
Oh,
us today, Professor
yes.
Makino.